Hey guys, I want to give you a quick intro into this video. Last week we released our video about the T4R experience. If you haven't seen that, you're going to want to watch it before seeing this video. For this video, on our way out of town, we do a quick trip up to the Tokerville Falls area. It's a local trail, it's an awesome trail, and we had a total blast. Plus, if you stay tuned until the end, we do a quick review on the good, the bad, and the ugly in wheeling a stock 4Runner. So watch until the end and let's jump into it. All right, so if you stuck around this long, we decided to take a little quick detour on the way out of town, and we're heading to Tokerville Falls.
Yeah, see how it goes.
We'll see what happens.
It's a little bumpy right now, so.
Yeah, here's the trail so far. Just a little rocky, but nothing crazy yet. Just lots of little rocks in the dirt that make it a little rough. Check this out, just partially up the trail. The views are just beautiful here. Yeah, it got a little cold. There was snow on the, well, you can see it, snow on the mountains over there. You can see, let me zoom in. Crunched my skid plate again. So two spots you can see there. Definitely need some lift action going on, right? So we're not that far into the trail, and there's been a few fun little kind of rock ledges. Totally doable in a stock vehicle, but it is a little slow going. As you can see, the rock garden here we're traversing through. This is a pretty serious one. Hope we don't pop a tire. Definitely air down, right? Recommendation, which we did, and skids would be. You could do it without skids. You just have to be careful. I was kind of driving like a dork for a minute, like I had it lifted or something. No wonder people always come here. I mean, I always see tons of people that come out here, but they never show the getting out there. They just show the falls. But look at this.
That's pretty sweet.
This is where your old Toyota will take you.
There's some more camping spots down there.
Oh yeah.
It's easier going back, I felt like. Ready, you're on camera, so you're gonna eat it. Oh.
All right, so we just drove over Tokerville Falls, just spent a few minutes playing around there and having some fun. And I can see why everybody comes to this trail. It's beautiful back here, of course. The falls are awesome. And there's a few little, not super technical, nothing is super technical, but there's some rocks and stuff, some shell rock and ledges and things like that. And so if you want to have a little fun, you can take some hard lines and just have a blast. stock vehicle is totally capable. We continue to learn the value of skid plates in an unlifted vehicle because we've hit our skids several times. Of course, that's a lot of it's my fault. I'm kind of driving like a dork because I'm used to a little more space between the bottom underside and the ground, and so I was driving kind of like a dork. But
I thought it was just gonna be a little paved, graded dirt road.
me too. So this is where we're headed. This trail is proving to be very exciting and fun. So you can see, again, stock 4Runner from a lift perspective. It's kind of a low rider. Some of these rocks are a little big. So we'll work our way through here. We're gonna go to the right there, rather than that rock right there is, I think, too big for us to get over. We may be able to straddle it, actually. I don't know, we'll see. We'll have some fun. Branson's gonna hopefully not get himself wet. Nice. So we're coming out of the Tokerville Falls Trail. We made the loop. You can do an out and back that makes it way easier. The loop coming out is difficult in several spots. We've got a ledge area that I'm curious to see how well this stock 4Runner does. We have definitely banged our skids. And you can do it so far in a stock vehicle. I have not put on my locker, but I have put A-track on. I gotta take off my seatbelt so I can see. Okay, you ready?
Slip off. Oh, stayed on there. Nice. Thought we were gonna slip off right there.
That was getting kind of gnarly. All right, so we just finished the Tokerville Falls Trail, and this 4Runner performed awesome. I mean, we just had a blast on the trail. When you take a look at the 5th generation 4Runner, the 2022 model really hasn't changed in any significant way. The Pro model, which we have here, comes with the factory Fox suspension, and Branson and I were both totally impressed with it. I mean, rock like this that we're in right now, which is super bumpy, it absorbed those bumps just great. It seemed to keep the vehicle really solid and, you know, eliminated body roll and things like that. So the factory Fox suspension is awesome. I think it's a great option to get on the 4Runner. You pay dearly to get the Pro model and get that, but it's still a great feature to have, and to have that nice suspension. The other thing that I really like about the Pro model, of course, and the off-road models have this as well, is the rear locker. We've been in a few situations on this trail and others that we did this weekend where we need to engage that rear locker, and that made a huge difference to have that locking differential. So that's really nice to have on these 4Runners. This also has the A-track, which it's incredible how well the A-track works. There were a few spots where we were just in 4 high. We needed a little more power to, you know, whether it was the front passenger wheel or the rear driver's side wheel, whatever it was. So I just clicked that A-track on, and it made all the difference in the world and allowed us to just drive right on through without having any issues at all. I really like the camera setup that this vehicle has. So it's got the front camera, rear camera, and the side view cameras. And that is really nice from an off-roading perspective. Also, when you put it into 4 low, the cameras kick on and it gives you 3 angles. It gives you the front view, actually 4 angles, the front view, the back view, and the side views. And on the front view, it gives you an indication on the camera of where your tires are. And as you turn the wheel, it shows kind of where you're headed. So we had a couple situations where there were some big rocks that we had to miss. And I was able to look through that camera, find the rock, and position my vehicle around it in a much simpler way. Didn't have to get a spotter out to check it, you know, the layout for us. We just went for it. So that's really nice with the cameras. One thing that I do not like about the cameras is they have not put on a really high definition camera. And so you've got this nice layout with cameras and views and all of that, but the definition isn't great enough that you can really make out the rocks and the obstacles really well. The other thing, like we found with our new 2022 Tundra, is the screen is so big. So when you're in that off-road camera view, your picture's bigger for all of the different views. And the screen on this 4Runner is quite small. And so again, it minimizes your ability to really see what's there. Overall, the 4Runner is awesome. It is a great vehicle. It's very comfortable. You know, it's got all the creature comforts, heated seats, and all the tech and all that. Sunroof, which is nice for beautiful days like this. And it is just a mountain goat. I mean, this thing will just go wherever you want. So we've been super impressed with it. As you can see, our 4Runner, we were able to put some of our parts on it. So we have a Prinsu roof rack up top, which I think looks way better than the factory roof rack that comes on the TRD Pro. It's basically useless, that rack, and it just kind of looks goofy. It's too tall, it's bulky. So the Prinsu rack was a great change, one we wanted to make right away. We put our skid plates, our full skid plates in aluminum underneath, and our rock sliders. We did our Overland rock sliders, which have the top plates, so they work great as a step, plus they're strong enough that you can lift the vehicle and really take that abuse and hold the weight of the vehicle. And then we also decided to put on our Baja covert front bumper with a 30-inch Heretic light bar and a Warn winch. So that's all we've done to this vehicle. Everything else is totally factory. We're riding at factory height. We haven't put a suspension lift on this vehicle. We haven't changed out the factory Nitto Terra Grappler tires. And we learned a whole lot this weekend and on this trail specifically, because it was probably the more difficult one, of how this factory vehicle performs. All right, so let's talk about the Tokerville Falls Trail. We jumped on this trail this morning thinking it would be a super easy, quick trail. And the loop into Tokerville Falls really is that. You know, as you first start coming up the little ravine, there are a few little rock ledges and things like that. They're totally doable in a stock vehicle. And the road's a little rough because there's a lot of rocks like this, but it's easily passable. We got down to the falls and it is just totally beautiful. I mean, it is incredible. Branson and I were hanging out, climbing all over the rocks, getting all kinds of cool pictures and video and just having a blast. After we had our time at the falls, we decided to make the full loop. Once you cross the falls and start coming back this way, the trail gets significantly harder. The rocks get bigger. There's a lot more off-camber, you know, ruts and holes and climbs and things like that. Plus there's, I don't know, I think there was at least 4, maybe 5 creek crossings, which was a total surprise, but a blast. We had a great time with it. But that really brings up the question of utilizing a stock factory vehicle for the most part when you're off-roading. And that's where our good, bad, and ugly comes from. So the good that we thought about as we've taken this trip and been gone, you know, for this long weekend is a factory vehicle is it's economical on the fuel economy. Unfortunately, Toyota is not great on their trucks with their MPGs. But driving down, we were doing 80, which is the speed limit here in Idaho and Utah. And we were averaging 15 to 16 miles to the gallon. So I mean, it's reasonable for what it is, for what the vehicle is here. And on the trail, it's been super efficient. Both days we've spent from 7:30 in the morning till 6-ish at night on the trail, and we only used a quarter of a tank of fuel. And so they're very economical. The other thing is you don't have to worry about breakdowns and things like that. The less you change on a factory vehicle, the more reliable it's going to be. So I think that's the great thing with this 4Runner in particular. Plus, it's a very capable vehicle with the Fox suspension, with A-Track, the lockers, the cameras. You know, it's all good stuff. So that's the good. That's what's awesome about this vehicle. Now let's talk about the bad. One of the first things that we noticed, and something that was a little worrisome to us, is the factory tires. This comes with the Nitto Terra Grapplers, and it's a decent sized tire. It's got great tread design and blocking and siping on it, so it's a good all-around tire for summer, winter, and off-road use. But it's not an LT tire, which means that the sidewall is not as thick as we would want, especially for terrain like this that is rocky. That was a worry that I had the entire weekend, is just watching the rocks and making sure I wasn't going over rocks that were going to puncture the tires. So I think an upgrade in tires is definitely necessary on these vehicles. If you're going to run them in a factory setup that's similar to this, you're going to want to do that. The other thing is you're definitely going to want to air down. That is going to dramatically minimize your opportunity for a puncture, because the tire will wrap around and form around any sharp rock, and it won't have so much pressure on it to puncture through. So that's kind of the bad that we noticed with this vehicle. Now let's talk about the ugly. The ugly depends on what kind of trail you're running, but we really noticed it coming out of Tokerville Falls on this return loop, is ground clearance. So this vehicle is factory height. We have not lifted it. We have not put on, you know, bigger aftermarket tires, and we hit our skid plates a ton. Especially again coming out on the Tokerville Falls Trail. There's some big rocks in there. In the creek even, there's big rocks that you can't see, and we were hitting the front of the skids, we were hitting the sides, and even the back, you know, as we were coming over some of the rock ledges that we were climbing. And that was a major hindrance, and something that, you know, we are always driving a lifted vehicle with bigger aftermarket tires, and I forgot what a significant difference that really makes, having that extra, you know, couple inches in lift and then couple inches in tire size. So to me, that was kind of the ugly. We were totally capable of going through this trail, but we definitely had to be more careful. We had to pick our lines right so that we didn't damage anything. We're running the factory, or not the factory, we're running our CBI aluminum skid plates on this vehicle. So they're super lightweight, and they held up to the abuse that we put them through. But I am very glad that we had those skid plates. And even actually there was a section coming out of this trail that we even hit our rock sliders, believe it or not. It got that crazy for just a second. So I'm glad that we had rock sliders. Again, we've done all this trail, or all these trails, put, let's see, we did 60 miles in 2 days, and probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 miles on this trail. So we've done close to 70 miles off-road. And yeah, we hit our skid plates, we hit our rock sliders, but we have not damaged the body on this vehicle at all. Which is a good thing, actually, because when we left Idaho Falls, it had 180 miles on it. I mean, it's brand new. But that's the good, the bad, and the ugly. I really think off-roading a factory vehicle is totally possible, and a lot of you guys do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it is amazing what a good set of skid plates will do, and rock sliders to protect your vehicle, and a great lift and slightly bigger tires. It makes all the difference in the world and can dramatically improve your off-roading experience and the places that you're able to get to. All right, so thanks for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed our quick review on the 4Runner, and also the comments that we had on the Tokerville Falls Trail. This is a beautiful trail, definitely worth your time and effort to come experience what this trail is all about and the beauty that's around it. As we learned this weekend, don't forget to stay on the trail, pick up your garbage, and respect this awesome opportunity that we have to be here in the backcountry of southern Utah. It is a tremendous honor and opportunity for each one of us to be able to use these trails, and it's important that we maintain them and respect them. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. We see a lot of you guys out there watching our videos, and we want you to be involved with what we're doing. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow along. We've got a lot of great content that we're releasing, and very insightful and helpful content. So be sure and follow along. We appreciate every one of you guys. I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at, and we will see you out on the trails.